Hello and welcome to the Mandalorian Review Show on the Merc with the Movie Blog podcast feed. Every week we review each episode of Disney Plus' The Mandalorian. I am one of your hosts, Shawn, and as always I'm joined by Jay Wade. How's it going, Wade?
Dude, it's going great. This episode was a little crazy. I do just want to say really quick right off the top that Bobby bringing us into the Sons of Anarchy crossover and introducing us to Boston and London was awesome. Boba Fett will never be the same.
Okay. Today we're covering The Mandalorian Chapter 6, The Prisoner, directed by Rick Famuyiwa and written by Christopher Yost and Rick Famuyiwa. Wade, what'd you think of the episode?
It wasn't the worst that we've had so far.
I agree.
It just the acting, the female alien. I don't do names. The nymph from Harry Potter, and she was the wildling that helped Bran in Game of Thrones.
Oh, was that really her?
Yeah. Oh. I googled it.
It wasn't very good.
No, her acting, I don't know if it was her decision or the direction, but it was way overdone. And I'd been looking forward to Bill Burr this whole time, but he just brought a little bit too much comedic performance for me. I wish he would have played it a little bit more straight. Other than that, I don't really have too many issues with the episode. I mean, it wasn't my favorite, but it certainly was not my least favorite.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with it. I thought it was better than the last episode, but not any of the others. There were some things I liked about it. I thought that, I don't think it was a bad episode. I think it was a good episode. I don't think they've made a bad episode yet, but... Well, I think so. I don't think any of these episodes, if they were in an anthology series, I don't think any of them would be bad as standalone episodes. But this isn't an anthology series, and we've been fucking wandering around with a thumbs up our asses for the last 3 episodes.
Feels like an anthology series.
It does, and if it was, I wouldn't have an issue. But we set it up as not being one with the first 3 episodes, right? So.
But then I don't know what happened since, and I don't know what's happening now, and I have no clue where the hell we're supposed to be going here.
Yeah, so that's my issue, right? If this was an anthology series, I think all these episodes would be fine. Some would be better than others, but seeing as we do have an overarching storyline that we've just abandoned, I think every episode it makes me a little more frustrated.
Yeah.
What do you think about the episode length?
It was fine. I've stopped noticing. So I don't even notice anymore and I think it's because they don't add a bunch of little crap just to make it longer and make more of a story. They have a story and they stick with it. And for that reason, I've not even paid attention to the runtime the last 3 episodes. Although episodes 4 and 5, okay, I take that back because on episodes 4 and 5 or chapter 4 and 5, I found myself looking at the time because I wanted to know how much longer I had to sit through that shit.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, the shortness of the episodes doesn't bother me anymore because they're doing it. They're just doing the story and it's working out. So
yeah. I do think this was the longest episode we've had so far.
It felt like it.
It felt like it, and there wasn't a whole lot done in it, which is why I brought up the length. I was pretty disappointed that it was so long and they couldn't find the time to fit in anything of importance.
And it was so long. Okay, it was so long, and Bill Burr had at least 5 blasters, okay, counting the one mechanical one on his back. So here's my thing, okay? So he had 5 blasters at least. Take away the one that was on his backpack because I don't know how that one was controlled, but he didn't physically control it with his hands. So that leaves 4 blasters. in the entire length of this episode, he never once removed either of the blasters that were on his chest. And I mean, the story didn't call for that to happen, so I understand why not. But I'm just saying, if you're going to make him decked out that much with blasters, then make it happen in the story to where he has to use them all and show how he uses all of the shit that he rolls with. Otherwise, it's just kind of like, dude, are you packing too much?
Yeah.
Or are you just that good on this specific mission that where you don't need to use any of your backup? And I know that's just such a stupid and small thing for me to bring up. But, I mean, come on, dude. Dude was decked out with 4 blasters. Yeah. It was awesome looking. They should have made him use them all in that length of time, is my opinion.
I don't disagree.
That would have been cool. Or at least, or at the very least, say when he draws his pistols, he uses his left hand and grabs one from his hip, uses his right hand and grabs the one from his left breast. Something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. That would have, just the visual of that would have looked fucking cool. And when he dropped down into the prison ship, and he pulled his pistols, is it me, or did he kind of take a little bit of a long time to draw his pistols?
I don't know. I was disappointed by everybody. I thought that the alien, the Devronian didn't look terrible, but the Twi'leks looked pretty awful. I didn't think they looked good at all. Yeah, I was just disappointed by this episode in terms of the characters. Yeah.
And the constant, licking of the teeth and shit. It's like, dude, that's some shit from, that's like some Harry Potter type of shit. You know, some odd, strange character in Harry Potter all Harry, and then licking your lips and shit or your teeth. And I'm like, wrong movie, dude. Or wrong,
it's not even acting choices. They just didn't look. They just didn't look good. The costumes, the CGI, the makeup, whatever, just did not look good.
Especially on the dude. He did look like someone out of Star Trek. Weird. He looked like Star Trek, dude, for real. And so did that. And so did the girl from the last episode, the mechanic at Mos Eisley. Yeah. She looked like she was out of Star Trek too.
Yeah. I don't understand. I feel like there were missed opportunities. I don't understand why the prisoner wasn't somebody important.
Yeah.
Why was it the brother?
It could have been someone that we haven't seen from Clone Wars or something. You know?
I mean,
someone that we don't know what happened to them, and here they are. Or Hondo even. Maybe Hondo had somehow
gotten... That's what I was thinking. Hondo would have been perfect.
Yeah, that could have been cool as hell.
I also don't understand why, because I was convinced that the episode ended when it revealed that he didn't kill any of those people, and they showed them in the jail cell. I was convinced we were going to see the same caped figure walk up to the jail cell from the end of last episode, and that didn't happen. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know what the point of doing it last episode was. I don't know. I just feel like it's so inconsistent.
I heard someone talking about Boba Fett, who, in my mind, it was Boba Fett at the end of the last episode who came up to old girl in the desert. Okay, but that aside, someone was talking about other possibilities of who that could have been. Someone suggested Cad Bane, and I can roll with that, man.
Yeah, maybe. I think the most likely answer is it's Giancarlo Esposito's character, but if it's not him, my bet is on Boba Fett.
But the jingle belts or the jingle boots, dude.
No,
you know what I mean?
I understand.
It could be anybody. It could be someone who found Boba's boots. Yeah. Who knows? That's the one thing that always brings me back to Boba is the sound of those boots.
It's just a weird time to bring him in to this. When we don't have a plot going on.
Well, yeah, I don't mind them like the tease of him that they did right there, and then introduce him more in season 2. But yeah, they've got they can't be do it. Okay, this is what it feels like, dude. It feels like they just have a bunch of, they were like, okay, man, here's all these awesome actors. Bill Burr, old dude from Breaking Bad, the girl who was in the Village episode with them and helped them with the villagers. You know, all these people, Nick Nolte. It's like they're like, okay, man, we got all, it would be great to have these people in the show, so like, let's just come up with a character they can play and then create an episode around that character so that we can give them an awesome cameo in an episode. And like, there's no clear direction for the Mandalorian. I'm starting to feel like it's not even a Mandalorian show, to be honest. I'm starting to feel like it is a show to highlight their friends, putting their friends in a Star Wars show, and they're using the Mandalorian in order to connect all of their buddies being in this Star Wars show. That's what it's starting to feel like to me.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm not quite there yet, but I definitely understand what you're saying. And I see it. But I don't know. Let's keep moving. We're going to take a break to hear about some other Merc with Movie Blog shows, and then we'll be back to talk in depth about the episode.
Hello, everybody. Jay Wade
and Kaylin here
to tell you about SEN Afterlive.
It's an after-show podcast where we expand on the week of craziness on SEN Live, as well as have guests on to join in the fun.
Yep, and we get personal, too. We do movie reviews, and at times we go way off the rails, which I guarantee is always Kaylin's fault.
Hey, how rude and not true. So, come join us on the Merc with the Movie Blog feed, and remember to rate, share, and subscribe, and as always, enjoy.
Hi everyone, this is Sarah, host of Go Get That Rose podcast, a podcast that is dedicated to talking about all things Bachelor Nation. Join Jay Wade, a man in his 40s who is recently new to all things Bachelor Nation, and myself, someone who has been watching passionately for the past 3 years, as we review, share our thoughts on each episode of whatever show is currently on TV, whether that is Bachelor, Bachelorette, or Bachelor in Paradise. We might not even know everyone's name, but we have fun nonetheless. You can find us on Merc with a Movie Blog feed wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey there, Schmodown fans. This is Josh the Merc Rainer, and I am here to tell you about my show, Talkin' Schmodown. Whether it's Andrew Guy getting hit with a chair, John Roca screaming, "Outlaw!" or the emotional retirement of the Shire Wolves, I talk about it all. So you can catch me right here on Anchor and all the other major podcasting platforms. So, as I ask every episode, are you ready to talk Schmodown? I am.
Hey, it's Sarah, and I'd like to tell you about Afterlife. It's a weekly Collider Live after-show podcast where Mike, Shawn, and I give our takes on Roxy and Dorinda's antics, on Yodi's producing skills, and whatever Cody and Alex are up to in that booth. In addition to having guests, we expand on the crew's discussions and add our own craziness in the mix. You can find the show on Merc with a Movie Blog feed on all the podcasting platforms. See you soon!
We're back. Check out the shows. They are great. Although I should say, Wade, I started Afterlife last night, and I had to go back and clarify what I was saying. I started Afterlife recording last night, and somebody asked me about one of the shows, and I went, I don't know. I don't listen to any of the shows on this feed. And I had to go back and clarify, I don't listen to any podcast, really, outside of Collider Live. So it's not that the shows here are bad. It's that I just don't listen to podcasts. So yeah, I opened up. I don't listen to any of the podcasts here.
Well, I've admitted that I don't listen to you guys' show, and it's nothing personal. It's just I don't have time, dude. I'm listening to SEN Live and trying, and then organizing SEN Afterlive, just like you guys are doing with Collider Live and Afterlive, and it just there's not a lot of time. Then plus, like you watch I also watch some of SEN's other content too. Yeah. So that it's just, and then I'm a YouTube junkie. I watch political YouTube live shows and shit like that all the time. So I mean,
there's no time. There's no time.
There's no time.
In the day. There's no time. More time in a day, please.
Yes.
Remake The Last Jedi by adding more time to the day. Anyways, we're going to go in depth now. And I usually go chronologically, but I honestly cannot remember what order these scenes happen in. So we're just going to start with this horror scene.
Sorry to stop you real quick, though. When you said the remake thing, I just want to bring – and this isn't about Last Jedi, but it just kind of segue into one small thing I wanted to bring up. I found the score terrible on this episode. I did not like the remix, like the dance, like the remix type shit. It was like a Mandalorian remix album, I thought. And I didn't care for it. So, but I mean, whatever. A lot of people did, and that's fine, but it just didn't work for me.
Yeah, music didn't work for me either this episode. But Wade, you wanted to talk about this horror scene, which is probably the best part of the episode. So go ahead.
Oh, by far. Oh, dude. Well, at first I'm watching it, and you see the flashing light, and you're like, okay, cool. It looks cool, just that alone. Complete horror shot. But then I'm like, wait a minute, what is that?
Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing there. Wait. Hold on, what the fuck is that? And then I rewound it. Before that little bit even ended, I rewound it because I'm like, no way, I want to take this in knowing from the beginning of it. And it was that classic scene with Bill Burr standing right up at the camera, facing the camera, and behind him as the light flickers, it'll flash on, no one's behind him, flash off, flash on, the Mandalorian's behind him. And each flash, when it would flash on, he wouldn't be there. When it flashed back on, he'd be closer. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. That was such a great shot. And then, of course, when he spins around and it flashes on again, he's then behind him. Yeah. And it was just such a great classic horror shot. And I think it worked really well. I loved it. Probably my favorite shot of the episode.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not sure we might disagree on this. I actually really liked how Bill Burr's character was like in on it. Like when he turns around, like he knows what's about to happen. He can. Yeah,
he had that look like, oh shit.
Yeah, he's like, oh no, this isn't good. And like right before he gets taken out, he's like, oh no, and he turns around and the Mando's there. But I really thought that was good. I really liked that scene. I thought that was the best use of the Mandos. Like, it felt very Batman.
Yeah, it did.
It was very cool.
And also, well, they already had the Batmanish scene, back at the was episode 2 when he was going through to go get Baby Yoda, and that was badass too. So and I like how they're taking bits from all these movies, like the John Wick bit when all the bounty hunters get the alert that he's now wanted, and it's cool, man. It's in the way that they're doing it so that it works well. It's not coming off as a ripoff or as out of place.
Yeah, they're doing a good job with the show. Like, I have my complaints about the show. I still think they're doing a good job in most areas. So I wanted to talk about the scene where Baby Yoda is hiding. Just because it's the only joy I had in this episode. I just thought it was adorable. I loved the droid looking for him, and Baby Yoda just, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I would love to know. I would love to be able to hear an inner monologue for Baby Yoda.
I'm hiding. Don't come around this corner. Like, yeah, I do. I'm not gonna lie. I wish that he had used the Force to take out the droid.
That would have been cool.
I thought it was adorable that when the droid gets taken out, he looks at his hand. He's like, "Oh my god, what did I do?" And then the Mando comes in. It's like, "Oh, okay, no, it was bad. It's cool."
Dude, when Baby Yoda, that cute little fucking thing that I just can't stand that I like, when he looked at his hand like, did I do that? Like, what the fuck? That was awesome too. That was so good.
Did I do that?
Man, okay, well, that was cool, and I don't have any beef with that. But I mean, you can enjoy something, but still ask questions about to question it. You know what I mean? So okay, now when he looked at his hand, he did 100% have that look like, what did I do or did I do that? Now, do you think that look more specifically was him looking at his hand and thinking, I hadn't done anything yet, so what happened? Or because, and the reason I asked that is because he straight up lifted that rhino off the ground and all that, so he knows he has force use. So it couldn't have been like, what did I do? I don't understand what just happened. So it had to have been like, I didn't use the force yet, so what happened?
I think it might be that, or also he passed out.
Hold on. Right. It had to be, I didn't use the force yet, so what happened?
Yeah, it could be that, or he also passed out right after lifting the Rhyhorn or whatever. I guess that's the name of a Pokemon. I don't think that's the name of the beast. I think it's a Mudhorn or something.
Mudhorn, yes, Mudhorn.
But maybe
Did you
he
call
passed
it a
out and doesn't remember.
Pokemon?
A Rhyhorn?
You just call it a Pokemon.
A Rhyhorn is a Pokemon.
Oh, all right. I don't know anything about Pokemon.
Yeah.
I thought you were. Never mind. I thought you were like I thought you were trying to figure out what it was, like a Rhyhorn, or was it a Pokemon? And I'm like, wait, backtrack here. Wait, what? We got a crossover going on here, other than Sons of Anarchy, which was a very out of place crossover. By the way,
weird.
It really
I did not understand that. I thought it was even weirder that, like, because they were doing the whole motorcycle thing, they brought in Daryl from The Walking Dead just because of the motorcycle. I thought you could have found a stronger connective tissue than that, but whatever. Rhyhorn is the name of a Pokemon, and I accidentally called it a Rhyhorn.
Yeah. Sorry about that, but yeah, that scene was great. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to take us so far away from that. You know how I am, dude. I'll take us to.
Take us anywhere, dude. Take us anywhere.
2000 in another galaxy, dude. And
Take us to Cloud City. Let's go see Lando. Yeah,
Bespin.
Yeah, Bespin. All right, you know what? We're talking about Schmodown stuff. I was playing in multiplex, and I got fucked over because one of the questions was, name all the planets that I don't think this match is out yet, but I don't care. Name all the planets that that Darth Vader sets foot on in the original trilogy. And so I said Endor, Hoth.
Well, technically it's not Endor, it's the moon of Endor.
Yeah, the moon of Endor, Hoth, and that's it. Moon of Endor and Hoth. And they said, well,
that is it. No.
Bespin's a space station. Not a space station, but it's a
Cloud City
in the clouds. It's not a planet you're stepping foot on.
Well, that's man. Because I'm under the impression that Cloud City is attached to the planet via like long poles or something.
I don't think so. I think it's just floating. I think it's just floating because Luke falls and hangs in the bottom.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
The only reason I counted Endor.
Yeah, he never stepped foot on Bespin. No.
The only reason I counted
Endor. We've never
seen
Bespin.
Yeah, the only reason I counted Endor was because he doesn't step foot on Endor. He steps foot onto an Imperial base on Endor, but onto a platform. But the platform is connected to the ground.
Yeah, that counts.
But Cloud City's just floating. Anyways, I didn't get the point for that. There are people that were trying to say he was on Dagobah, but he wasn't on Dagobah. That was a vision. But and even then, when Luke took off the helmet or smashed the helmet off, it was him underneath, not Anakin. So
yeah, that was clearly not people or.
But yeah, I'm a little just talking about Bespin and getting things wrong in the Schmodown and stuff. I don't think I was wrong. I think technically I was right. But you know what?
You were.
It's like 2 weeks removed, so it's too late.
When that match comes out, let me know. I'm going to watch it and I'm going to post in the Facebook about it and call them out.
You better. All right. Talk to Coho about it.
I will.
Let's talk about this cameo real quick. There was an amazing cameo in this episode where we got to see 3 New Republic X-Wing pilots, which was probably honestly my favorite part of the show.
It was pretty cool.
Just seeing X-Wings. And flying it was there was Dave Filoni, Rick Famuyiwa, and Deborah Chow, 3 of the directors of this show. Yeah. So that was cool. I just wanted to bring that up.
And I want to bring up something about that as well.
All right, go ahead.
Dave Filoni, he delivered easily the laziest delivery of a line so far in this entire series when he's like, he says, looks like they're launching a gunship. But it's the way he said it was so incredibly lazy. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
I can only guess they forced him into that suit to do that. He's like, I don't
think so,
and
man.
Like, get in it.
He was probably like, man, can I please do this?
They've got a gun to his head. They're like, come on, get in the damn thing.
But I had a couple more things, if you don't mind, if I bring them up real quick. Nothing long or anything, but I'm sick of the play on his helmet and the removal of it. It's getting really, really extremely old. We all know that at some point we will see him take the helmet off, but they've already nailed it way too far into the fucking ground, dude. And we don't
just
need
take
to
it
hear
off already.
any more about it. Well, no, not that. I don't want him to ever take it off. But
take it off.
No, my point is stop bringing it up is the point.
Well, yeah, that's one option. But if you're going to keep bringing it up, then
they'll probably have him take it off, and then they'll still bring it up as to why you're not wearing your helmet every fucking episode. I don't know. And then when he takes out the droids, the droid guards, I'm sitting there and I'm like, and I even said out loud, and I watch these by myself. It's not like I'm hanging out with somebody and they can hear me. I said out loud, I go, finally, he's a badass. And then later on, he got his ass kicked again. And I was like, okay, never mind.
Honestly,
he gets his ass kicked every single fucking episode, dude. And it's like, I don't know what, for me personally, and I don't know what left me under this impression. I mean, it's not, they never said this or anything, but I was left under the impression before this show ever came out that we were getting the Mandalorian who was already a badass, was established, he was doing his thing, but no, we're seeing it in which is odd because of his age, but it seems like we are catching him toward at least the middle, if not the beginning of his development into a badass, if he ever makes it to being a badass. But so far, he's not.
I think he's still a badass.
He gets his ass kicked every episode.
I don't know about getting his ass kicked. I think that there has been times where he has gotten his ass kicked, but I think also this episode he kicks the shit out of everybody.
There was the one time he took a beating, man. What moment was that? And I was like,
I mean, he takes a beating, but he takes them down, like all of them. He takes everything.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I was under the impression that he was further along than he really is.
I think it would be a little boring if he was that overpowered. There wouldn't really. I don't know.
But it's a little boring and lame that he's not at least farther than what he is.
I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean,
every single episode he's taken a beating, dude. That to me shows that he is far from being a real badass bounty hunter or anything, because he just in every time that he has ended up fucking everybody up, it's not because he's a badass, it's because he's got weapons and the whistling birds and the zip cord and the fire, which is all awesome, dude. That's why we loved Boba Fett, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the beginning, that's all great, but I'm just saying that he can't just be good when he has his weapons. He has to be a badass without his weapons, and so far, he's not proven that he is. He takes a beating every episode, and it's only his weapons or some other intervention that stops it.
I don't necessarily fully agree with what you're saying, but I do understand what you're saying about it needs to be less about the weapons, and I do agree with that. I do think that is a good point. You have anything else you want to bring up?
Nope, that's it for me, man.
All right, you asked to do this. I was thinking about doing it anyway, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to rank the episodes again, or I guess we haven't done it since the second episode, so it is again. We're not going to do this again until the show is done for the last episode, but real quick, we're going to give our rankings. Wade, why don't you give me your ranking first?
All right. This might actually, one of these might surprise you. But where I'm standing at right now, from favorite to least favorite, chapter 2 is my favorite.
Okay.
Chapter 3 is my second favorite.
Okay.
Chapter 1 is my third favorite.
All right.
Chapter 6, the one that just dropped, is my next favorite. Then 4, and then 5.
Okay. So yeah, if you go favorite to least favorite, my favorite, my number 1 is chapter 4. My number 2 is chapter 2. My number 3 is chapter 1. My number 4 is chapter 3. My number 5 is this episode, chapter 6, and my number 6 is chapter 5.
We got two, but we got 2 of them are the same on our list.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, as I get further and further, I could move chapter 1 and chapter 3 around anywhere with each other. I think I like them both. So
yeah. I those were the 2 I was having a hard time with my order, but yeah. And that's one thing I love about you and I with Star Wars is I'm an original trilogy guy. Like, as in, I saw Return of the Jedi in the theater when it came out. You're a prequel kid, right?
I mean,
more so, or in between prequel and.
I watched the originals more than I watched the prequels. I watched the originals before I saw the prequels. I was born when the prequels were coming out.
That's what I meant, like your generation prequel.
Yes, I was born when the prequels were coming out, but I don't like to say that I was a prequel kid because I did watch the originals more than I watched the prequels. Right.
But yeah, you came out. You came out.
I came out. Yeah.
You came out of your mama at the time the prequels came out. So we just there is that little bit of a gap, or not gap, but that difference with some of the tastes, and that's what I like is you and I like. There are things that we do completely agree on that are just amazing and awesome, but then there are things that we fundamentally disagree on. And I never get upset. None of it ever bothers me. I don't give a shit, man. All art is subjective. Just because I think something sucks doesn't mean it sucks. But that's what I love about talking Star Wars with you is you can tell, and by our order of the episodes, we had two of the 6 in the same order. So we obviously agree on some things and have some similarities. But the rest of them were kind of pretty much opposite. And I would, throw that back to when you did your top, your in order list of all the Star Wars on screen. Yeah. And if you look at mine, the start of it, mine was almost exactly reverse of yours. Yeah. And I love that, man, because I mean, what kind of fucking boring place would this be if everyone agreed? So
here's the only thing. You like Return of the Jedi, right?
Yes, that's my favorite.
That's all. There you go. That's all we need. As long as people acknowledge that Return of the Jedi is good, that's all it needs. Because the movie gets too much hate. It's too much.
It's a great movie, man. That's the movie that made me fall in love with movies and acting, dude. I'm gonna say something, and I don't think it's embarrassing because I was like fucking 4 years old or whatever at the time. I was literally a child. But dude, after Return of the Jedi came out. And I would take my baths. I would come out of the bath and I would wrap my towel around me like I was a baby, and I was baby Luke.
Amazing.
I was baby Luke Skywalker after my baths, dude. And like yes, dude. And that's because of Return of the Jedi, man. I had seen Empire and New Hope before Return came out, but I had seen them on VHS and the video discs. The old fucking big video discs. We had Empire Strikes Back on that. So Return was the first one I saw in the theater. So that movie is that's what got me in love with film and how and opened my imagination. And because of that, I love film. I took acting classes as a kid. I've been in a musical as a kid. It's awesome. So yeah, man, of course, Return of the Jedi it's my jam, dude. I love it.
Before we wrap this up, I will say one story about Return of the Jedi. I think I've said this in our little group chat, but I've never said it on a podcast. When I was very little, when we'd go to the park, they'd have those picnic benches. And without fail, every time I'd go up to one of the picnic benches, I'd climb on top of it, I'd stand on the edge, and I would jump off of it, turn around, pretend to grab it, and pull myself back up and pretend to catch the lightsaber. Like,
oh wow!
In Return of the Jedi, when he jumps off the side of the thing when they're trying to get him in the Sarlacc pit. Without fail, every single time I went to any sort of place with a picnic table, that would happen at least once.
That's
probably
awesome.
Probably 5 or 6 times in a row. But yeah, that's just our Return of the Jedi story. Check out our next podcast where we just talk about why Return of the Jedi is great, and if you insult it, I hate you.
The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi, yes.
Yes.
Also that. We actually did that. I was doing a bit about Return of the Jedi.
Oh, I'm sorry. Damn it. See, I blew it. I blew the bit, man. I blew the bit.
Since you blew the bit, you have to do the social plugs first. So where can they find you?
Y'all can find me on the Twitter at jwade1134. That is the letter J, WADE 1134. Also on this same feed here, Merc with a Movie Blog feed. I host with Kaylin, who's been on this show a couple times. Couldn't make it this morning, but she and I do an SEN Live after show called SEN After Live. Sarah, who is host of a show that Shawn will tell you about in a second, she and I do a show called Go Get That Rose, a Bachelor Nation podcast. We're going to be taking time off here until it restarts, but definitely look out for that. So, and then we got some other stuff in the works too. So just check us out from now every now and then, and you'll see some new stuff popping up, I'm sure.
Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and ask this, and Josh, if this is wrong, he can cut it out. I think we're close enough. We can announce that Last Jedi, I think.
Oh, yeah,
next week, right?
For sure. I think I had asked him to drop part 1 this weekend, so
okay.
Part 1 will at least be out before Rise of Skywalker comes out Thursday. So
why don't you go ahead real quick and explain that?
Okay, it's a new show we're going to try around here called Convince Me. And the first to kick it off and get it going, is The Last Jedi. Now, the premise of the show is one person doesn't like a movie, the other person does, and the one who does like it tries to convince the other that it's a good movie. So in this case, Shawn has 2 chances. We figured I'd give him one go before Rise of Skywalker and another try after. Maybe JJ can sway my opinion on The Last Jedi. But I'm coming into it. I do not think The Last Jedi is good. I can't stand the movie. And Shawn, it's his job to convince me The Last Jedi is good. Part 1 we have recorded already. It will be out soon. No spoilers on that, but I mean, I just will say that he swayed me on at least one thing. So it's not like, I'm stuck in the mud and I'm planting myself there and I'm not going to come out, dude. If you can give me good solid arguments, man, then hey, I'm willing to open up a little bit. But check it out, and we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, it's called Convince Me, and part 1 of the premiere episode should be out here pretty soon.
Awesome. You guys can follow me on Twitter at Shawn_AFK. I'm also over here on Merc with the Movie Blog doing, what am I doing? Afterlife, the unofficial Collider Live after show. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. And do that with Mike and Sarah. That's so much fun. I love it. We just recorded an episode yesterday. We get off the rails all the time. So if you want some wacky fun, go listen to that. If you want some wacky fun, also go listen to SEN Afterlife because oh my god. I jumped a peek behind the curtain for Afterlife, for Shawn and Sarah and Mike's Afterlife. I jumped in their studio after they were done last night just to talk to them for about 10 minutes. And I barely got a word in, and I still don't know what the fuck was going on in that conversation. It was crazy. So yeah, you guys are definitely fun and worth listening to for sure. Oh, thank you. You guys are also a bunch of fun and worth listening to, even though I don't listen to you. Yeah, come on. I'm going to get canceled now. Also, off of this podcast feed, Mike and I do a Power Rangers show where we watch and recap every episode of Power Rangers Dino Thunder. I was about to say we just had Wade on, but we didn't.
Sorry about that. I will reschedule.
Wade's going to get on there. We have had David be on in the past. don't worry, because Sarah also had to flake on us, so you're in good company, Wade. You can find this show and others on the Merc with the Movie Blog feed, which can be located on Anchor, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Radio Public, Breaker, or Overcast. We're hosted on Anchor, so that's the best place to listen to it. And you can also follow Merc with the Movie Blog on Twitter at MovieBlogMerc. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We've only got 2 episodes left, so I'm excited to do those last 2 episodes. A little sad to see it end, but I'm sure we'll figure out something to do after this is done. So, of course, thank you for listening, and we have spoken.